things do happen, you think you got it all in there, but. And basically, on page 43, I just noted a couple findings. The one that's a new one is called 1B08. It's called preparation of financial statements, which our firm did prepare these financial statements. And there's a new auditing standards that came out that says you're not supposed to rely on your auditor for internal control purposes. That your staff is supposed to, be able to do everything. So I went to a meeting and they had like a little technical, not technical correction, but just a interpretation. So what does that mean? And so, even though you guys are, what it means is that Adam and Sandy's supposed to have this audit report already put in this format with all the disclosures required, and then we're supposed to just come here and audit it. Well, in the real world, in this size, community, you don't have the staff that's available, that has their CPA, go to school for 40 hours a year, and, keep up on all this stuff. They have it already. But I still have to disclose that to you that it's called deficiency, even though it's not a material weakness, it's still a deficiency, and I just require you to disclose it. I tell you that's not unusual in your size, and your size organization.
But should we be leaning towards that? I mean, or is this going to be a noted deficiency year after year after year?
It would be, yeah.
In order to address that, we have to hire additional staff,
Yeah.
right?
Because you have to have somebody to be able to, put it together in the right format. And go to continuing education, make sure you got all the disclosures and everything in the financial statements that you need.
We would also, if we didn't, we would further violate 1A08, wouldn't we?
Right.
If we tried to do it without doing that, we would only further our issue of violating
Yeah, and I kind of try to look at like segregation of duties. That's like that's hard. I mean, if in a perfect world, like say everybody would have just a certain, you'd have somebody work on receipts, and post the receipts, and someone would post the disbursement, someone would do the financial statements, so someone else would reconcile the bank, maybe another party would take the mail in. And I think you do a pretty good job, where you're here, but since it's not necessarily perfect, I still put that, in there. And I don't see any problems, from what I tested. And I try to take the audit procedures, to go, to look, towards that type of, suggestion. Like we look at, I call it more substantive testing. I look at more receipts, invoices maybe, and other places that have these big controls where you just go through and test the controls and don't look at what's behind it. As long as the bill's approved, and then you say, okay, that looks like, so I think something's happened in some bigger entities where I think, that's why some of these bigger entities are having problems, is that the auditors are looking at just the controls and focusing on that, not, the substance of what was happening.
Can there be any repercussions and penalties to us if we do not comply with them?
Nope.
No? Okay.
The other thing, if you don't have your audit report done by March, because you have to have an audit report by March 31st, from the state. State code says that. And if you don't have it in on time, I think they can withhold wilderness to get it in there.
Okay.
That's about it.
Thank you.
Yep, unless your bondholders would have a problem, if you're issuing debt, but I've never had that happen. And I did notice that we were over the budget on page 44. I think you guys just went through your budget hearing, so it's different because the city budgets by, you think you budget by fund, which would make more sense, general fund, road use fund, but you actually budget by program. Whether it's, public safety, those categories that first brought out. And you're over on, which one was it? Over the debt, the capital projects. And we figured out that was because of the airport project going on. And what it is the airport projects, authorizing stuff, but it was in a separate checkbook, so it wasn't in the computer the system, so then when, you guys were looking for budget amendments, then it did come up that it was over budget, until I put all the numbers together. And then I came back last month and Adam and Sandy and I, Andy, we went through it, so, to make sure, everything's in the right category for next time. So you might have a budget amendment, because I can't remember if everything was all in the right spot.
No, it was too late to
It was
change.
too, I think it was too late, I was just a few days too late, so. And so that's one reason you might have a budget amendment, not for, in total, but just to, switch the categories to that. So we want the budget to match the categories on the audit report. And then the last thing I did mention on page 45, and this was a smaller thing, but this is when we do confirmation. It said about confirmation in various places, and there's something that didn't match, and it was a little open access grant. And have to go not to the city's books, but went to the library foundation. And so that really is a city's, grant, so it really should go through the city's books. I mean, it was a small amount, but, so, I think that's been corrected in the future, so.
There was some real questions about some of that, because
Yeah.
they have departmental things there, but I think we've got that all cleared
Yeah.
up.
So I kind of went through that with it, with these things too. so.
Thank you.
So with your experience, did we do a satisfactory job? Or?
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good job, guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only comments I have, that's good. And I didn't have my staff come back at night going, oh, I don't know, I just can't keep these books to balance. I didn't, I had nothing like that, it was, came home smiling, now frustrated, so.
Well, that's good.
But it is different, because you go out there sometimes and you have some of you, they don't think that, they balance the checkbook and stuff, but then they don't realize that's supposed to match the computer, what it shows. Little by little, we get them all from there, so.
Okay.
So that's my only comments, and I want to thank you guys for having us, do the audits, and hopefully next year we'll be here a little bit earlier.
Well, thank you for coming and
Thank you,
addressing the
Jackie.
council.
Okay,
We appreciate it.
all right.
Have a safe trip.
Okay, I will. Okay, thank you. Have a good year.
Thank you.
Actually, okay, that makes sense, because mine starts at page 27.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, those two.
All right.
We're going to go ahead and audit that.
Yeah. Well, so I was going through the vacuum and have the back of the book.
Well, I think we went, to be all fair, I think we went through and we took one apart.
Okay,
And I'm wondering if it got,
okay, so that wasn't my test here.
Thank you again.
There's a special machine to bind and unbind it all, so. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry.